Sean Kingston couldn't say a word as he was escorted out of the courtroom hours ago.
What's up? It's your boy Stevie83, and we're back with another react. You know what I mean? Today, we're reacting to Sean Kingston. And his mother gets locked up. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is, but it is. These people crazy.
Mom had been arrested, and he had begged agents to protect her as they took her away. But with fraud spanning millions of dollars and involving scamming Redditors and even using his connections with Justin Bieber to dupe people, Kingston should also be worried about how long he's going to be in prison as well. What happened to Sean Kingston? For those who might be too young to remember, Kingston was dead-ass, giving us that unique Jamaican-American sound that had everyone vibing. But fast forward to today, and Kingston's name is trending for all the wrong reasons. No cap, this story is wild. Sean Kingston and his mother, Janice Turner, were found guilty of wire fraud, defrauding businesses of over $1 million in luxury goods.
Wow.
That's right, not just Sean, but his mom, too. They're literally facing up to 20 years in prison per charge. And the sentencing? It's scheduled for July 11th, 2025. The internet is absolutely losing over this mother-son duo caught up in some serious legal drama. Let's rewind for a second, though. Before we get into all the fraud tea, we need to understand who Sean Kingston really is. This man didn't exactly have the easiest come-up. His early life was marked by hardship, including a breaking and entering charge at age 11, time in jail, boot camp, and periods of homelessness, often sleeping in cars with his family. No joke, it was tough. What's even crazier is that his mother, Janice Turner, was incarcerated.
Oh my God! Oh my God! I didn't know Sean Kingston's mother looked like Sean Kingston's poppy.
For identity fraud during his teenage years, adding to the family struggle. Despite all this, Kingston managed to turn things around when he was discovered on YouTube and signed to Beluga Heights Records in 2007. His rise to fame was literally the definition of going from 0 to 100 real quick. And for a while, it seemed like Kingston had finally made it out of those tough situations. But here's where things get spicy. Kingston's career hasn't exactly been popping off lately. His follow-up albums Tomorrow 2009 and Back to Life 2013 saw diminishing commercial success, with Back to Life failing to chart at all. Basically, the man went from chart-topping hits to struggling to stay relevant. And this financial decline might be a key piece of the puzzle when we look at what led to these fraud allegations.
Listen, guys. Now, I know this from experience. I know this because it happened. It happened to me, and it happens to a lot of people out there in the world. When you are in a situation where you're making a lot of money, you need to put money aside. You need to keep your mind straight focused on where you're going, because it's easy to get caught up in this life. Like, you're moving money around, you're a millionaire, you're moving all this money. Really, other people are moving it for you. So then you look around one day and you're broke. Remember, guys, if you're out there, keep your head on a pivot, watch your funds, save some money. Because if I had somebody tell me this, like I'm telling you guys this, I'd have some money right now. Save money. I know it's hard. I know it's hard when you got money set aside and it's just sitting there for nothing. It gets to the point where you want to use it. Older people in my life say it's burning a hole in your pocket. Like, I know what that means. All of us are going to, if you're young still, you're going to know what that means one time in your life. So just keep your head together, collected. Don't get like Sean Kingston. Start making money. Get these bright ideas to make more money and start conning people. That's not the way to go about it.
Let's talk about what actually
get used to that lifestyle, man.
It's absolutely bonkers. In May 2024, Kingston's South Florida mansion was raided by SWAT, leading to his arrest alongside his mother on charges of fraud and theft.
Wow.
Like, we're talking full-on SWAT team raid, the type of thing you'd see in those intense police shows. There's literally footage of this raid that shows how serious the situation was. The allegations against Kingston and his mother are truly next level. They were accused of defrauding businesses of over $1 million through fraudulent documents and failed bank transfers, targeting sellers of high-end vehicles, jewelry, and other goods. We're talking Cadillac Escalades, designer watches worth 6 figures, and luxury home theater systems. The man was really out here trying to ball out on a budget, a fraudulent budget. One of the most...
How do you ball anywhere? It don't mean ball out, ball up, ball down. You ain't balling nowhere without money.
Damning pieces of evidence came from Fort
You
Lauderdale
cannot ball on a
Moshe
budget.
Edery,
I don't care
who
what nobody
testified
say.
about Kingston providing a fake wire transfer screenshot for a $285,000 watch. Just imagine being so confident that you think you can get away with sending a fake screenshot for something worth almost 300 G's. The audacity is legitimately on another level. The evidence against Kingston and his mom.
Not the audacity. Stupid. Oh my God. The more I watch this stuff and the more I look at the world outside, it's, oh my God, these people are dumb.
The police found voice memos and texts, such as Kingston instructing his mother to create fake receipts to delay payments. Like they literally have receipts on the receipts. In one particularly incriminating text, Kingston told his mother, "I told you to make fake receipts so it looks like the transfer will be there in a couple of days." Major yikes. Now, as we all know, Sean Kingston isn't just known for his music. He's had his fair share of personal struggles and challenges. In 2011, he was seriously injured in a jet ski accident in Miami, Florida, alongside a female passenger.
How the hell do you get injured? I mean, I know there's multiple ways, but to get injured on a jet ski, man, you just fall in the water.
Shows that his life has been full of ups and downs. But this fraud case is hitting different because it involves family and potentially decades behind bars. What's also interesting about this whole situation is how Kingston was using his celebrity status to pull off these scams. According to court documents, Kingston leveraged his fame by name-dropping former collaborators like Justin Bieber and promising social media advertising to lure businesses. He even told a home entertainment company he was Bieber's business partner to secure a $150,000 home theater system.
Listen, man, if you're going to give anybody any kind of references or anything like that, I would not use Justin Bieber as my reference.
That Bieber
That's
was
for
supposedly
sure.
unaware of. Talk about clout chasing gone wrong. The sheer magnitude of this fraud is actually wild when you break it down. Kingston and his mother defrauded multiple businesses, including jewelers, car dealerships, and luxury goods providers, using fraudulent documents and fake wire transfers. The scheme was active from October 2023 to March 2024, which means they were at this for months. According to the court records, the total amount defrauded is over $1 million. That's not just a little scam, that's a whole operation. Here's a breakdown of some of the major items they allegedly scammed. An Audemars Piguet watch worth $285,000 from Fort Lauderdale jeweler Moshe Edery, a bulletproof Cadillac Escalade valued at $159,701.49 from an exotic car dealership, a luxury bed valued at over $86,000 from a company named Mari, a $150,000 home theater system from a luxury TV company, various jewelry valued at $480,000 from other businesses. The trial itself was a whole vibe. In March 2025, a Broward County jury found Kingston and Turner guilty of 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 4 counts of wire fraud after 3 hours of deliberation. 3 hours. That's how quickly the jury was convinced of their guilt. The man who once sang about fire burning is now watching his future go up in flames. After the verdict, Kingston was placed under house arrest with electronic monitoring, required to post a bond of a home valued at...
You rip off people for over an M and you get house arrest? Make it make sense.
$500,000 and $200,000 in cash, while his mother was taken into custody. The moment was apparently emotional, with Kingston begging marshals to protect my mother as she was taken away. No matter what they did, seeing your mom get taken to jail has got to hit different. But that's not even the end of it all.
Different.
From mansion raids to courtroom drama. So the whole legal saga kicked off in May 2024 when authorities decided they'd had enough of Kingston's alleged shenanigans. A SWAT team raided Kingston's rented mansion in Southwest Ranches, Florida, leading to his mother's arrest. The footage from this raid was giving major movie vibes. We're talking officers in tactical gear, police vehicles surrounding the property, the whole nine. Kingston wasn't home during the raid, but that didn't save him from catching these hands of justice. He was later arrested in California at Fort Irwin Army Base after performing at a concert. Imagine going from performing on stage to being put in handcuffs. Talk about a vibe check. TMZ got the whole thing on video, and it's absolutely wild to see how quickly Kingston's life changed. After the arrest, things got real official real quick. Kingston was booked into Broward Jail on June 4, 2024, with charges related to the $1 million fraud case and bonds set at $100,000. Then, 2 months after the arrest, both Kingston and his mother were indicted in Miami federal court. This wasn't just some minor legal trouble. They were facing serious federal charges that could send them away for decades.
The court
appearances that followed were given total drama during a pre-trial hearing on August 26th.
Now we will,
2024,
though.
both Kingston and his mother pleaded not guilty, with Kingston's attorney
How many
even
more you
seeking dismissal
celebrities
of one case. But the prosecution wasn't having it.
getting
They
away
had
with it
receipts,
anymore?
literally and figuratively.
I'm on your
now,
ass.
I want y'all to
like
understand
belt
just how
switch.
serious these charges are. Kingston and Turner were charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 4 counts of wire fraud. Each of these counts carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. Do the math. That's potentially 100 years if the sentences were to run consecutively. Now, typically sentences run concurrently, but still, we're talking about some serious time behind it.
Now, if you want to know what that means, when you get sentenced to prison time, you can either have your crime, your charges run concurrent or consecutive. Concurrent means if you have, let's just say you got in trouble and you have 5 charges, each carrying 5 years apiece. So you got 5, 10, 50, 20, 25, right? That means you're going to have to do 5. Consecutive means do 5, finish this 5, do another 5. Finish that 5, start another one, start another, and so on and so on. When your crimes are run concurrent, that means all 5 just turned into 1 5. Because they're all running at the same time.
Bar. The trial itself was mad interesting. It lasted 5 days with the prosecution presenting evidence of 33 fake wire transfer receipts. One of the key moments in the trial came when Fort Lauderdale jeweler Moshe Edery testified about how Kingston provided a fake wire transfer screenshot for a $285,000 watch. Edery claimed that Kingston promised to introduce him to other celebrities for future business opportunities, even playing a voice memo in court where Kingston said, "I'm going to have you at all my video shoots and red carpets." But those promises turned out to be kept, and Edery allegedly lost his credibility and got fired as a result. What's also interesting is how the defense tried to spin this whole situation. Turner's defense claimed she was protecting her son from scammers, asserting she had always intended to pay back debts. Meanwhile, Kingston's defense portrayed him as a child, clueless about finances. But the jury wasn't buying what they were selling. After just 3 hours of deliberation, the jury found Kingston and Turner guilty on all counts. The moment the verdict was announced, the courtroom was filled with tension. Kingston was reportedly emotional, begging marshals to protect my mother as she was taken into custody. This moment really humanized the situation. Regardless of what they did, seeing your mother headed to jail has got to be devastating. Now let's talk about what happens next. The sentencing is scheduled for July 11, 2025, which means both Kingston and his mother are currently in limbo, waiting to find out exactly how many.
Now this couldn't be me, man. If me and my mom started doing this hustling people, I know, Mom, you know, Mom, I would not let my mama go to jail. I'd tell the police and the prosecutor, my mama didn't have nothing to do with this. My mama didn't even know none of this was happening. But he let his mom take the fall down there for him.
With electronic monitoring, while Turner remains in custody.
See? He's on house arrest, sitting at $1 million mansion, and she's in the bank.
The judge cited Turner's past criminal history as a reason for denying her bail, noting her 2006
that goes for all you YNs out there. If you're doing that to your mama, you
This isn't the first time Turner has been in trouble with the law,
Fuck
which
out
definitely
of here.
doesn't help her case. During Kingston's teenage years, his mother was incarcerated for identity fraud, which adds a whole layer of complexity to this story. It seems like fraud charges run in the family, which raises questions about nature versus nurture and the cycle of criminal behavior. Speaking of cycles, let's not forget that Kingston himself had legal issues as a youth. At age 11, he faced a breaking and entering charge, leading to 21 days in jail and subsequent boot camp. His early life was marked by struggle, including periods of homelessness where his family had to sleep in cars. It's a classic case of someone who came from nothing, made it big, and then seemingly couldn't maintain that lifestyle when the check stopped.
And if you missed it, or if you're new here, there's somewhere up in the top cards here should be a video about the Pawn Stars people. They got in trouble too.
Coming in. What's particularly interesting about this case is the role Kingston's mother played. The judge described Turner as the operator, fixer, and accountant behind the scheme, managing deliveries and ensuring the fraudulent transactions proceeded smoothly. This wasn't just Kingston acting alone. It appears to have been a family operation, which makes the whole situation even more complicated. Both defendants' attorneys have indicated plans to appeal the verdict. Kingston's attorney, Zelska Bozanik, stated, "We do not agree with the verdict and express gratitude that Kingston was allowed to remain on bond pending sentencing." Turner's attorney, Humberto Dominguez, also plans to appeal, citing the need to challenge the court's decision.
Of course you
but
appeal.
Realistically, the chances
You
of a
appeal
successful
everything.
appeal seem slim given the overwhelming evidence presented during the trial. Now, let's talk about possible sentencing scenarios. While each count carries a maximum of 20 years, it's rare for first-time offenders to receive the maximum sentence,
No,
especially in white-collar crime cases. This isn't Turner's first rodeo with fraud charges, which could lead to a harsher sentence for her. Additionally, the scale of the fraud, over $1 million, and the number of victims involved could also factor into sentencing decisions. Federal sentencing guidelines take into account various factors, including the amount of money involved, the defendant's criminal history, and whether they accept responsibility for their actions. Given that neither Kingston nor Turner pleaded guilty or expressed remorse during the trial, they may not receive any leniency for acceptance of responsibility. Legal experts might predict that Kingston could face anywhere from 5 to 15 years, while his mother, given her prior convictions, could face a sentence closer to the maximum. However, this is pure speculation, and we won't know for sure until the sentencing hearing is allowed. Another factor that could influence sentencing is restitution.
I don't get that anyway. I don't understand how you can leave my life and my freedom in the hands of another man. I don't understand, nor do I like that.
Challenging and might result in asset seizures or wage garnishment in the future. The fall from the top has been very loud, and fans have definitely provided more insight. Fan reactions, social media storm, and what's next. The internet has been absolutely wild since news of Kingston's conviction broke. On X, formerly known as Twitter, the reactions have been coming in hot. One user, at Crawford_Dante, posted on March 31st, 2025, saying, "Yo, Sean Kingston and his mom just got hit guilty on that fraud tip. Over $1 million fake flexing on cars and ice. From beautiful girls to court tears, son Wilder. Philadelphia don't play that. Keep it a buck or get bucked, you know what I mean?" This basically captures the shock and disappointment many fans are feeling. Another ex-user didn't hold back on the criticism. At Crypto Drugs 101 commented, "Sean Kingston referencing people trying to break him daily after a fraud conviction is wild. Accountability nowhere in sight." This points to a frustration that
he ain't learning any type of responsibility, any at all.
The discussions have been just as spicy, but with more of that classic Reddit humor mixed in.
And
in a thread titled "Sean Kingston Facing Decades in Prison Following an Indictment,"
scamming people and stuff out of their hard-earned money, there's a different level for you altogether. Like, you beating people out of their hard-earned money, you a damn.
Were quick to reference Kingston's songs.
You're worse than a cockroach.
Somebody called 911, and ain't no beautiful girls where he's going.
You're
Dark
so
humor, but it shows how Kingston's music is still
girl.
part of the cultural conversation, even if it's now being referenced in a much different context. What's really interesting about the Reddit threads is the personal anecdotes that have emerged. Some users have shared stories about Kingston not paying bills at a transportation job and demanding free popcorn in Ireland, suggesting that his financial issues and entitlement might have been a pattern long before these fraud charges came to light. One Reddit user summed up what many seem to be thinking. "I'm guessing he made a not massive but decent amount of money that had he been really smart with it, he could have lived comfortably, but clearly he makes bad decisions." This gets at the heart of the frustration. Kingston had opportunities that many people dream of, but poor financial management and questionable choices led him down this path. In another Reddit thread about Kingston's homemade, a user commented, "Washed up celebs trying to maintain a lavish lifestyle with no money at all. Not surprising, but still fascinating that it still happened." This perspective highlights a common theme in discussions about Kingston. The idea that he was trying to maintain an image of success and wealth that he could no longer afford, leading to desperate measures. On YouTube, the videos covering Kingston's legal troubles have been racking up views. CBS Miami's video titled "Rapper Sean Kingston, Mother Found Guilty in Federal Fraud Case" has garnered 8,920 views and 52 comments. While Hot 97's video, "Sean Kingston and His Mother Found Guilty of $1 million Fraud Scheme," has received 198 likes. Even mainstream news outlets have covered the story extensively, with publications like Variety, The New York Times, and TMZ reporting on the verdict and potential consequences. The case has clearly captured
I gotta tell you guys something. I'll tell you after
public attention, not just within music circles, but as a broader story about celebrity, fame, and downfall. But it's not all criticism and mockery. Some fans have expressed nostalgia for Kingston's music and a certain sadness about his current situation. In an older Reddit thread from October 1st, 2021, titled "Folk of Reddit, you ever just wake up and wonder what happened to Sean Kingston?" Users reminisced about his hits and questioned his career trajectory even before these legal issues came to light. This suggests that while fans are disappointed, There's still a connection to his music and a curiosity about his journey. Looking at all these reactions together, it's clear that the dominant sentiment is one of surprise and disappointment, though with undertones of nostalgia for Kingston's early career. According to an article from Rolling Out on April 2nd, 2025, the public reaction to Kingston's conviction has been predominantly unsympathetic, with social media flooded with comments questioning his financial management. This tracks with the overall vibe we're seeing online, a mix of shock, criticism, and even some gallows humor. So what's next for Sean Kingston and his mother? As we've discussed, the sentencing is scheduled for July 11, 2025, and they could face significant prison time. Kingston is currently under house arrest with electronic monitoring,
and his
while his
mom's
mother
still in
remains
there.
in custody. Their attorneys have indicated plans to appeal the verdict, but the process could take months or even years to play out. If Kingston does end up serving prison time, it raises questions about his career post-release. The music industry has seen artists make comebacks after legal troubles, but the severity of these charges and the damage to his reputation could make a full career revival challenge. Kingston hasn't released a charting album since 2013, and this legal drama is unlikely to help matters. One possibility is that Kingston could use this experience as material for a potential comeback album or memoir. Artists have often transformed personal struggles into art, and Kingston's journey from homelessness to fame to legal troubles could potentially resonate with audiences if presented authentically. However, this would require a level of accountability and introspection that some critics feel Kingston has yet to demonstrate. Another factor to consider is Kingston's personal brand and image. He has 8.4 million likes on his Facebook page and a significant following on other platforms, suggesting that despite his declining music career, he still has a fan base. How he chooses to engage with these fans during and after his legal battles could influence his future prospects. It's also worth noting that Kingston's legal issues come at a time when the music industry is increasingly focused on artist authenticity and integrity. In an era of cancel culture and social media scrutiny, the tolerance for celebrity misconduct has decreased. Kingston will need to navigate this landscape carefully if he hopes to maintain any sort of public career. And what about Kingston's mother? Janice Turner's role in this fraud scheme was described by the judge as the operator, fixer, and accountant, suggesting she played a central part in orchestrating the fraud.
They need to get a better picture too.
For bank fraud
Why didn't put that blue thing on her head?
Face a harsher sentence than her son. The mother-son dynamic adds another layer of complexity. They give her a whole ass mullet, raising questions about family influence and responsibility. This case also highlights broader issues within celebrity culture. Kingston reportedly used his fame to secure luxury items, name-dropping collaborators like Justin Bieber to gain trust from businesses. This speaks to the power of celebrity in our society and how it can be misused. It also raises questions about the pressure faced by celebrities to maintain a certain lifestyle, even when their financial reality no longer supports it. From a legal perspective, this case serves as a reminder of the serious consequences of wire fraud. Each count carries a maximum sentence of 20 years, and even if Kingston and Turner receive sentences on the lower end of the spectrum, they're still looking at significant time behind bars. The case may also serve as a deterrent to others who might be tempted to engage in similar fraudulent activity. For Kingston's victims, the verdict may provide some closure, but the financial damage has already been done. Moshe Aderi, the Fort Lauderdale jeweler who lost a $285,000 watch, testified that he lost his credibility and was fired as a result of the incident. Other businesses, like the exotic car dealership that was defrauded of a $159,701.49 Cadillac Escalade, may never recover their losses, even if Kingston and Turner are ordered to pay restitution. The sentencing on July 11, 2025, will provide the next chapter in this ongoing saga. Will Kingston and his mother receive the maximum sentences, or will the judge show some leniency? Will they ultimately serve their full sentences, or could there be early release for good behavior? And what will Kingston's legacy be? Will he be remembered for his hits like Beautiful Girl, or will this fraud case overshadow his musical contributions? Only time will tell, but one thing is for certain, the Sean Kingston fraud case has captivated public attention.
But that's going to do it for us today, guys. We'll be back tomorrow for something else. We got one lined up for you. Remember, in case you missed it, we have the Pawn Star people that got locked up. Go back and watch them. For any new people, think about subscribing if you enjoy this content and enjoying me. You know, I am me. We're gonna be out for today, man. Peace.